Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe, and I do appreciate you guys and gals being here today. We are going to touch on some things I noticed that were really interestingly peculiar, a little bit more about Silvergate. It's been in the actual mainstream news, which is very interesting. Also, we're going to take a look at a few different pieces here around um, Bitcoin that is in the hands of those who shouldn't have it and are going to use it to try to push the price down. And they're going to try to get you to look at what Jerome Powell's doing and all that stuff. So we're going to take a look at some of that as we get into the show. Before we do that, if you are new to the show, do me a favor and give me a subscribe. Grab the bell. You know when we go live. We do live shows a couple times a week. They're live. They're not edited. You get me. And that's one of the cool things about this. Not everyone does live shows, and they are afraid to do it because, well, they make mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and they want it to be clean and crisp or whatever. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's fine. That's everyone's prerogative. Here, we do it live. I don't edit them, and you get it as it is. So, anyways, thanks for being here. I do appreciate y'all being here. There's a live chat running. Do me a favor and pop in there and say hey if you are watching live. I love it when you guys are in there. Towards the end of the show, I like to come through and see if there's any questions, comments, concerns, etc. Just throw those in there as well. Check out all the links in the description of the video. If you have any crypto or blockchain related questions, if you have a business idea that you want something to be crypto or blockchain related, whatever, grab some time with me. We will have a discussion and figure out what's going on. So, and then I had somebody else ask me about my video I did around Divi. um, and what I think is going on with Divi. Sorry, I'm gonna put that over there. That's on the Patreon. It's one of the features of Patreon is I will give those types of opinions or information on there. So check that one out. It's only $5 a month. It does pay for itself, whatever you want to call it. I do provide different types of perspectives there. I take the gloves off, so to speak. Now that some of the other information is coming public, there are things that I will start to talk about here as I'm able to do so. But anyways, we will get into the show here now. May have to cut it a little bit short today. I do have a meeting abruptly at 1 p.m., so I need to jump over into getting that done. So, all right. So this was very, very peculiar to me. The White House is aware of Silvergate's situation. Spokeswoman says. Press Secretary, I don't know how, whatever. The other one was Peppermint Patty. We need to come up with a nickname for her. Jane Pierre, whatever her name is, said that the administration is watching Silvergate's situation and likened it to other crypto companies that had issues recently. Silvergate, and I'm not mistaken, is not. They're a bank. Silvergate is a banking platform, is an innovative as an entrepreneurs we serve, as innovative as, so they're a bank. They're not a crypto company. They are crypto related. They have commercial stuff. They're mainly commercial. As an individual, you would have a hard time getting an account there. Just to put it in perspective, my system's acting funny. So if y'all all of a sudden lose me, sorry. Anyways, this is Silvergate. They're a bank. Oh, wait. Effective immediately. What? Effective immediately, Silvergate Bank has made a risk-based decision to discontinue Silvergate Exchange or SEN. All the deposit-related services remain operational. Excuse me. So, sorry, Silvergate. Why is the White House, the government, paying attention to a bank and then liking it to other crypto companies? It's not a crypto company. It's a bank who provides crypto services to its customers. White House press secretary said that the Flashbang administration is monitoring Silvergate Bank situation, comparing it to those at other crypto companies. It's not a crypto company; it is a bank, and saying that the resident is called on Congress to take action in this area. Why all of a sudden again are we seeing another problem? And this time it's actually a banking institution. Why is there so much attention here? You have to wonder. And I do wonder. And I try to connect the dots. And all those of you who've been around long enough, you understand that that's what we do on this show. So we're going to announce, we talked about this, I think on Monday a little bit, that they shut that down. I just told you about that. The SEN's been shut down. The price of their stock has fallen. It's a publicly traded company. They are trying to get you to focus in on something else. This is a contagion from FTX. FTX was the major funding for the Democratic Party and some of the Republicans, but the Democratic Party. They used FTX to send money to Ukraine. They used it to send money back to politicians' pockets because guess what? No one's donating to the DNC anymore. So they had to funnel your taxpayer dollars, your money, the money that you paid in taxes. Really, they're just loans from the Federal Reserve, but we'll get into that some other time. Into FTX and then back into the pockets of politicians through their CEO, who is now in jail and probably going to be serving a long time for laundering money. The thing is that FTX was the fall guy, so to speak, and everything associated to that is now in trouble. Well, guess what? Silvergate helped facilitate the US dollars or the fiat currency into crypto transactions through Alameda and into FTX. Great timing. Great. So now they're letting Silvergate be a problem so that it falls, so it goes away. Makes you kind of wonder what they're trying to hide in this realm. Well, you've got Jerome Powell sitting in front of Congress talking about all the different monetary policies and things aren't working the way they thought they were, and they're trying to kick the can down the road. He said something to the effect that they need to raise the debt ceiling so they can get this stuff fixed. And Congress isn't raising the debt ceiling, and they're running out of rope. In other words, they've been given enough rope, and they're making a trouble for themselves, so to speak. And y'all know what I mean. Read between those lines. No, I think it actually has something to do with something else. Okay, Jerome Powell saying the stuff he's saying. All the pricing of all the crypto market is down. Okay, everything's down. These are the day charts. The Nasdaq or the Dow Jones is down. Nasdaq is up, and the S&P 500 is down. Gold, silver went down a lot, but are trying to tick back up today. Divi's even having trouble, which has been interesting. That is a whole discussion that we talked about on the Patreon. Go check that video out. If you are not part of the Patreon, consider checking it out. Maddox even coming down a little bit. Axie, everything's down. Okay, except for where was it? Mortgage interest rates are up. They're actually up above 7 again. But anyways, this is a delayed chart for anybody who's new. So crypto's down. Jerome Powell's coming out and saying the stuff he's saying. Silvergate's having problems. See the dots? Let's connect them. U.S. government abruptly transfers $217 million in Bitcoin to Coinbase. Actually, they transferred almost $1 billion. We'll get to that in a second. And it's tied to Silk Road. Money, Bitcoin, confiscated in most likely illegal raids. But that's a discussion we'll kind of get into here. A crypto analytics firm says the U.S. government has suddenly transferred massive amounts of Bitcoin that it seized from the defunct nefarious marketplace Silk Road. Sorry, those of you who have beards, sometimes it goes in your nose. Anyways, we're live, guys. We're live. Oh my goodness, that. Anyhow, just so you all understand, Silk Road it was kind of a place for anyone and everyone to sell and buy whatever they wanted using cryptocurrency. Even bad things, nefarious things, blah, blah, blah. It was supposed to be the place for everyone to do what they wanted on a free manner. no matter what the problems are it caused. Anyhow, I want you to understand something. Silvergate's problem, FTX problem, they've pushed the price of crypto down and they can't get it really down much further. Okay. Now, they have the stuff from Silk Road. Uh, Mount Gox, as of this Friday, will start getting payouts. They'll have 100 and something thousand Bitcoin that will go back into customers' hands. It's by no means any amount of full repayment by any means, but it is a percentage or portion thereof by that. When the whole thing happened with Mt. Gox, Bitcoin was about $800. I never touched it because I had my mining node I was mining against, and it just kept going into there, and I felt like that was safe enough at the time. And I wasn't trying to make a profit on it because I was just kind of like, well, let's just see what this does. Send it to people. I was looking at the technology, not the money. We've talked about that many times on the show. Those of you who are with me all the time, you know what I mean. If Mt. Gox releases 100 and something thousand of Bitcoin, which is like $3 billion, and the US government is teeing up $1 billion in Bitcoin to be sold, auctioned off. $4 billion of Bitcoin out of the market cap of Bitcoin draw the price down. The total market cap is just above $1 trillion. If they take, it's not really a whole lot, but it'll drive the price down basically. Especially if they do market sells, right? It'll drive it down. If that indeed happens, the price of Bitcoin will fall and everything's associated to it will fall. Now, what do you think that whole tie in here is? They're trying to create policy, they're trying to create the scenarios where you and I and everybody else wants the policy. We want the regulation. That's what they're trying to get you to do. No. Mm-mm. This is very, very, very much so a sleight of hand. It's a magic trick. According to PeckShield, the U.S. just sent 9,826 Bitcoin worth $217 million to Coinbase, where it could be sold in the open market. An additional approximately 39,000 Bitcoin worth $867 million was transferred to two new addresses that appear to be internally controlled and not linked to any exchanges. Interesting. So if you follow, blockchain doesn't lie, guys. This is what they don't understand. The blockchain doesn't lie. 40,000 Bitcoin. They're transferring it around. They're moving it around. When that starts moving, that's a problem. They're doing it 1,000 at a time from all these different addresses. Boom, 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 into one. Coinbase. They're going to probably sell it to drive the price down so that someone somewhere with a big enough pocketbook, so to speak, big enough US dollars can absorb it. Y'all know how this works. Price might dip again. Just so everyone knows, Bitcoin's price might go down. Maybe. We'll see. All because the government is trying. I don't know what they're trying to do, okay? At the end of the day, nobody actually does. Bitcoin's at $22,000. There's so much pressure in so many different areas that I feel like all of a sudden Silvergate, the Silk Road Bitcoin, you've got the Mt. Gox Bitcoin. I think things might come down a little more. When that happens, I hope people are ready. If it does, fine. Dollar cost average in. Thing is this is going to continue to run. They're not going to scare those of us who've been in this and understand this. They're not going to shake us out. They're just not. They can try to make it illegal, and it's still not going to make us shake it. It's not going to shake us out. They don't get that. They don't understand what diamond hands mean. Silk Road Bitcoin for sale. U.S. government-linked addresses transfer $1 billion in Bitcoin. U.S. law enforcement agencies have confiscated thousands of Bitcoin from the Silk Road over the years, and a significant chunk of it has been auctioned off from time to time. Over 50,000, but auctioned off is not sold off. It's different. They're actually putting it into an exchange where they will most likely sell it. Over 50,000 Bitcoin worth $1 billion were moved from a multiple wallets connected to United States government law enforcement seizures and transferred to new addresses, with some of them moved to Coinbase today. According to the data shared on-chain analysts, this is referring to the other article I just read, 3 transfers were made from U.S. law enforcement agency wallets. These wallets held nearly 51,000 Bitcoin seized by U.S. agencies from the Silk Road marketplace in November 2021. The confiscated Bitcoin was consolidated into 2 wallet addresses. Crazy, huh? Anyhow, just so y'all understand, this is coming down the pipe, and it's probably going to get dumped on the open market. It's probably going to force the price down, although it could just provide more liquidity for people to eat it up, which would keep the price stable for a while. All right? All of this happening where you've got the stuff going on with the rates, and they're talking about raising rates again more rapidly, more aggressively, which will be good for Bitcoin because the dollar is failing. It's failed. It's not working. All right? There's an opinion. There's a warning sign in this otherwise hot economy. Americans are piling on debt again. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. A record high of number of people are paying more than $1,000 a month on auto loans, and nearly every online store is luring customers in by promising they can buy now, pay later. This is a problem because a lot of people no longer have the money to pay back what they've borrowed. Because the interest rates are up, because their paychecks haven't risen, and they have not been able to even keep up with the economic rise in inflation. Nearly 25 million people are behind on their credit card. 25 million people are behind on their credit cards, auto loans, or personal loan payments, according to Moody's Analytics and Analysis of Equifax data. Yeah, well, Moody's isn't. Well, whatever. We're not going to get into that. The whole housing market. We guys have talked about that before many, many times. They probably should bring it back up because things have really changed. Really changed. As I said they would. Starting down, we're at the peak and we're about to start down to the trough. We kind of already are. The nation has not seen anything that high since 2009. So right after the crash of 2008, in the midst of the Great Recession, it's a warning sign in this hot economy. It's plausible the situation could deteriorate, especially if a recession arrives. Many households are also behind on their utility bills. 20.5 million homes had overdue balances in January. According to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, the number of households applying for help to pay their utility bills is the highest it has been since 2011. Guys, gals, do you see? If people aren't able to do this stuff on top of all the other things, the reason crypto is being pressured the way it is being pressured, targeted, we'll call it targeted, the way it is targeted, because they do not want people free. All these people have to do is move their US dollars, if they have any left, into crypto, and it will explode, and they will be out and free from this crap. Families are already making difficult choices. about cutting food or medicine or heat from their budgets. If job losses climb, many will likely lose cars and homes. There is a confluence of factors driving this. Inflation remains stubbornly high. No kidding. They printed 80% of the US monetary supply in a 2-year time period and it never actually stopped. And they're saying, we can't calm this down. They can't calm it down because they've never had that much money in circulation. Crazy stuff. All right, let's see here. Stubbornly high inflation. Generous government support during the pandemic is ending. It has ended. Some families overspent and used car prices dropped, so some owe substantially more than a car is worth. There is also a quirk in which many low-income borrowers suddenly have higher credit scores in recent years as they paid off debt. Now lenders are no longer as lenient, which they are not. The grace periods are getting shorter. You so much as miss one day. I've heard people talking about this. One day, you make one mistake and your credit gets dinged, like majorly dinged. One small little mistake and majorly gets dinged. Struggling families. Oh, I also had someone mention to me that they've had credit cards for years. They have certain limits. All of a sudden, those have been cut by 75%. Why? For not using it? People use it at least once a year. You're fine. These people that ever mentioned that to me, they were like, I use mine every 6 months. Go buy something, pay it off, done. What the heck? They're sitting there scratching their heads. 75% decrease on the available credit on those cards. No reason. Credit score is great. Arbitrarily just cut it down, 75%. Y'all, things are changing. Please be prepared. Crypto is under attack, and that's what I was trying to say with this. Q1 is almost over. We're in March. Q1 is almost over. This year is shaping up to be very interesting. I think it's going to be very, very hard for the economy to last much longer at all. We've already seen stuff go crazy. But anyways, I have to run to a meeting. So I'm going to run through and say hey to everyone. So I love all of you guys. Bitcoin Bull, you are first, my friend. Thanks for being here. I love it. Let's see. What we got here? PAPAJO, have you seen the Tucker Carlson interview of President Bukele? Loved to borrow Bukele for the U.S. until January 25 and send a clueless Joe to the country he loves, Ukraine. I saw your note in Patreon. I did start watching it. I didn't get to finish it, but I will. Bukele is an interesting fellow. He really, really is. Pay attention to the stuff that's going on there. Carlson is putting some stuff out. Y'all need to be on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you really need to be. Highly recommend that because I share a lot of stuff between shows. Kim, what's going on? Thanks for being part of the show today. I do appreciate it. We got Steven. What's going on, man? Thanks for being here. Do appreciate you being here, as always. Bitcoin Bull, that is true. A Divi copper node is only $660. Guys, Divi price is down, which means if you really wanted to obtain a really hefty handful, you can. Just saying. Sorry. What's going on, Lithia? It's very, very fantastic to see you here today. As always. All right. I have to run. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you guys on Friday for our regular live show. And we'll have a live Patreon show Friday afternoon as well. Take it easy. Be blessed. Talk to you later.